Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, today's study of Mundaka Upanishad begins with the 8th mantra. First canto, first chapter, second canto, 8th mantra. Yesterday we just touched upon this mantra, isn't it? Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira panditam manyamanaha janganyamana pariyanti mudha andheneva niyamana yathana. So knowledge can be a big trap. This is what they are trying to say. So let's move on to the 9th mantra. Avidyayam bahudha vartamana vayam kritartha ityabhimanyanti balaha yad karmino na pravedayanti ragat tena turakshina lokaschavante. Continuing diversely in the midst of ignorance, the unenlightened take airs by thinking we have attained the goal. Since the men engaged in karma do not understand the truth under the influence of their attachment, thereby they become afflicted with sorrow and are deprived of heaven on the exhaustion of the results of karma. See, they are giving us the limitations of karma done with any form of attachment or vested interest. That karma will yield only limited result. It may be very good karma. There are a number of people in this world doing very good karma, but somewhere there is a selfish purpose to it. Somewhere, small selfish purpose which they themselves may not know about. So what will be the fruit of this karma? That is what is being said. The fruit of such karma will be very good, definitely, but limited.
Binding.
Yes, it will be binding also. And due to its limitations, after some time when the fruit of this work gets exhausted, Kshine Punya Martyalokam Vishanti. It will bring you back to stage 1. So any form of karma, unless it is completely nishkam karma, it functions as a binding factor. This is what people don't understand, they are saying. That's why karma may not liberate. Karma yoga will liberate. But karma itself may not liberate. Sri Ramakrishna used to say this, that if God appears before you, will you say, well, I want to construct so many schools and hospitals and wells and what will you ask for? He used to say. So he's pointing out to this. You see, karma itself is a limitation. But karma yoga nishkam karma can liberate you. So then the intent, the motive behind the karma, these are the things we have to take care of. That is why they are saying that karma will bring you back to square one. That kind of karma. Now we see even these sacrifices and all which they used to perform, many of them were sakama karma. Sakama yajna it was. Means for the fulfillment of certain specific desires they were performing that sacrifice. So that's why he is saying, see, this is the Upanishad. This is the essence of the Vedas, which is giving you the pure path of direct knowledge. So they are pointing out definitely to the limitations of these sacrifices. So the person who put down entirely the karma kanda, the sacrificial portion of the Vedas, it was Buddha. He revolted against the sacrifices. And he said that how can this lead to the highest? It is knowledge alone that leads to the highest. So the whole point is this. The purpose of these sacrifices, if it is nishkam, they will elevate the soul. Otherwise, they will bind the soul. So they use strong words, which we should remember. Today we may not be performing those sacrifices, but all of us are doing karma, isn't it? In our particular station of life. That is equivalent to, what they were doing in those days. We must make sure that our karma liberates us and doesn't bind us down further. How do we do that? You see, this is real intelligence. How do you convert your everyday work into a means towards the highest? This is the real intelligence. So, ignorance can be such that we may be thinking that through these karmas we are attaining the goal. A huge section of our society think that all kinds of rituals and these big rituals, sacrifices, all this will take us to the ultimate. So then he's pointing out here, you see, the Rishi is saying they become afflicted with sorrow unless they understand that karma is binding if it is not done with the right spirit, and it is a limitation. And at the most, it can get you heaven. See, Shubha karma, what does it bring you? Good karma done with good motive, not a unselfish motive, but now you want to do good to others. You may even have a background desire for punya, for, you know, see, all this is normal in human life. Or you have a deep desire, isse to bhalai hoga mera. This kind of a feeling you have, you do the karma. It is good karma only. Where will it take you? At the most, it will take you to heaven. So, all these words are described in our scriptures also. Good karma takes you after death to a good place. But then, once the fruit of that karma is exhausted, that karma fal gets exhausted, you have to come back to earth and restart the spiritual journey. So, now if you want to escape this going and coming, transmigration into different lokas, then you have to manufacture knowledge. This karma, nishkam karma itself yields the highest knowledge. Then there's no more going and coming. Here and now, you realize you are the self. Many times in these classes, I have given the entire, GPS, you can say, of all the lokas and how it is seen in our scriptures. What does punya get you? What does papa get you? And if you are doing nishkam, where does it take you? And with realization, where it takes you. So you can study it in the previous videos. All this is covered. The whole point is this: how to awaken to pure consciousness or Brahman. This is the goal of human life. Not to take a trip to heaven. After all, heaven is, do you think it's a fantastic place? I don't think it's a fantastic place. Because here only, if you are dissatisfied with mere sensual life, how can heaven give you great satisfaction? So only everything is limited, please know. Heaven is like a 10-star hotel. You keep eating and drinking and everything digests, and people are dancing around you and singing. So how much joy can that kind of an experience produce? This is what you should see here. Once we see it here, we will see that that cannot be the goal. So the goal is pure knowledge and pure devotion to Ishvara. If this comes into our lives, we will understand then I have to manufacture the sanskars for higher bhakti and higher knowledge. That is the intelligence of human life. Otherwise, only my karma will decide where I will go. If we don't have the sanskars for the higher life, we will be totally, you succumb to the karma fal. What you have done, accordingly you will go. That's all. So take care of this. Those of us who are, we have really taken spiritual life seriously, we must understand this fundamental thing, that knowledge and devotion, these sanskars will matter most in our lives. So how to manufacture these sanskars? You see, next now he is going to tell us that. Go to the 10th mantra. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtham nanyad shreyo vedayante pramudhaha nakasya prishthe te sukrute nubhutve imam lokam hinataram vavishanti. The deluded fools, believing the rights inculcated by the Vedas and the Smritis to be the highest, do not understand the other thing that leads to liberation. They have enjoyed the fruits of actions in the abode of pleasure on the heights of heaven, and they enter this world or an inferior one. The limits of karma are being shown. And then he is saying, the rights inculcated even in the Vedas and the, see, Veda is Shruti. And Smriti means that which is not Veda. There are a number of scriptures in Hinduism which don't fall under the category of Veda or Vedant. They are the Smritis. All our Dharma Shastras and every other scripture, in fact, even the Bhagavad Gita, they are all fall under the Smritis. So the rites inculcated there, hmm, those rites were, they had a definite purpose. Many of them were Sakam rites. So they will only yield this much of fruit, is what he's saying. So take care that you manufacture knowledge and real devotion in your life. Otherwise, you are not, they will enjoy Nakasya Prishthe means the heights of heavenly pleasures. They may enjoy that, but still they will come back. Huh? After having said this, now you see what he says. The 11th mantra. Tapashraddhe ye upavasanti aranye shanta vidvamso bhaikshcharyam charanta suryadvarena te viraja prayanti yatramrita sa purusho hyavyayatma. Those who live in the forest while begging for alms, with those forest dwellers and hermits who resort to the duties of their respective stages of life as well as to meditation, and the learned householders who have their senses under control, they, after becoming freed from dirt, go by the path of the sun to where lives that Purusha, immortal and undecaying by nature. So you see, if you invest in knowledge, you will go to Brahman. Here Purusha means Brahmagyan, the highest knowledge. They will go there. Who? Those who live a life of austerity and investment in knowledge, and they can even be householders. Most of these rishis were householders who are learned, who are discriminating, and who have their senses under control. See, in the parlance of all these texts, discrimination means philosophical discernment, vivek. Those who have all these faculties well developed and whose senses are under control, the tapasvi type, they become freed from mere worldliness. That is what he means by dirt. And they go to the knowledge of the truth of this existence. Here it is called Purusha. They are using a Sankhya word actually. Immortal and undecaying by nature, which is immortality. And because it's the only thing undecaying. So knowledge liberates. And devotion itself is liberation. But just sacrificial rites done with specific purposes is not going to liberate you. Now you may ask, our duties fall under what? See, we have entered samsara, we have specific duties at home, and we have to fulfill those duties. That's the way for us to move forward. So they fall under what? They fall under karma only. But if you are doing it still with a very selfless spirit, our duties towards our family, towards our children, our duty towards our society, towards our culture, towards the nation, if you do it in a very selfless spirit, that itself can become a cause for liberation. In fact, we should all strive to do that. How do you strive to do that? You see, the very fact that now suppose you're serving whatever you're doing for your children, it's because they are your children. So there's a certain amount of attachment there. So how will this work now? Just by bringing this Vedantic understanding into our lives. That the child in front of you is nothing but another soul in evolution. I will do my utmost to help that soul blossom. Not that it is my child. He is very independent of you. Do you know? He will show it in a few years. He or she. So just have this Vedantic attitude at the background of your mind. That is another soul which has come to me, which has been given by God. It has come to me. It has come into my life. Now I will help it blossom. In fact, every rishi or yogi or tapasvi will have how to help life where it is. How to make it blossom fully. That is the only goal. That's the only way you can bring about your liberation. So have the same attitude even towards your family, towards your Thakur says this in the gospel, isn't it? Hmm? He used to say the maid servant looks upon the children of her employer as her own children, but she knows very well her children are at home. So, in a detached sense, you have to work. This is what he's saying. Hmm. At the background of your mind, you should know that each one of us is only a soul in evolution, and temporarily it is with you. Now you will do your best for it. Give as much as you can in a detached spirit, serve, and that will become your Nishkam karma. So whatever you're earning, your career, everything, if it can be used like this, then it will not bind you. Otherwise, there can be very strong bond. These are all binding factors, Yesterday we discussed the family itself is a karmic and pranic tangle. It's come to you because of your karma. So now you have to work your way through it only. There's no other way. So in a detached way, perform your duties of life. If strong attachment comes, everything will mess up. Yes, then even after 20, 25, you don't want to give freedom to your children. That is the practical effect. You want to decide what he will study, what he will do, what career he will take, whom he will marry, how many children he will have. Who are you to decide all this? So take care of all this. Okay. Once the child is independent, after 18, you must, there is a saying, once your the slipper you are wearing, the same size slipper your son wears, now you must start treating him like a friend, not as your child. And when it exceeds that, now it's an independent soul. Allow him to explore the world in his own way, he or she. And if you don't give them that independence, you throttle them, So let go. Now your duty is vanaprastha. That is the only way we can grow. Somewhere you must dive deep within while remaining in the family, not running away from there. Many people do this, they keep a separate place for spiritual practice. Now, after retirement, they make sure that they are doing their thing there. And from a distance, you satisfy your duties in life. Make some such provision for yourself so that we grow in spiritual life. So this is what he is telling. See, why he says the forest dwellers and hermits and those householders who have detachment is because only this type will come to knowledge. Those who have strong emotional attachments, and the grip of karma is very difficult to shake off. For them, it's family life itself is very delusive. Constantly crying and complaining and blaming, and only this will go on. What is the point of all this? Tell me. See, you created a family only so that it will give you bigger experiences of life, isn't it? Not smaller. So take care of it. That's what he's saying. If you can't let go, you cannot be happy anywhere, whether in the monastic life or in the householder's life. Now go to mantra 12. Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat tannaskrita kritena tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva bhigachet samit padi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. What he's saying is a brahmana should resort to renunciation after examining the worlds acquired through karma. With the help of this maxim, there is nothing here that is not the result of karma. So what is the need of performing karma? For knowing that reality, he should go with sacrificial faggots in hand only to a teacher versed in the Vedas and absorbed in Brahman. Now by Brahmana here, it doesn't mean one particular caste only. What it means is one who's aiming at Brahmajnana. He is a Brahmana. So he should now enter into the path of renunciation. See, renunciation is not about running away somewhere to the Himalayas. Renunciation means being able to perform at your own place with detachment, without any selfish ends. That is real renunciation. Thakur used to say this, isn't it? The householder should mentally shake off all attachments. So, if this can be done wherever you are a tapasvi, you are a yogi. So, this is what is prescribed here, you see. Having examined the worlds you can get through karma, what does he decide? There is nothing here that is worthwhile which I can get through karma, and so he goes about in search of pure reality, the truth. And he approaches a teacher who is versed in the Vedas and absorbed in Brahman. So, this Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan, this is very important. There must be solid vivek, discernment. See, all our vairagya depends on our vivek. There's a cause-effect relationship between the two. Vivek is the cause, vairagya is the effect. If vivek is not there, vairagya has no meaning. So vivek means I saw all the worlds which karmas can get me, and I found them unsatisfactory. At the most, I told you, what can good karma, sakam karma get you? Heaven. Is it worth staying there long time? Tell me. Even short time. Yes, it's. I can give you a simple example in your own life. Suppose now your son likes partying and you have to join to please him. If you party for 3 days continuously, fourth day your mind will be sick of it and your body also will get sick of it. More than 3 days you can't bear it. Simply eating food and dancing and singing, and you get fed up with it. In fact, the inner soul will revolt. One day you somehow bore it, second day you tolerate it because your son, third day you didn't like it, fourth day you will be sick. When this is the case with a party, then he heavens with only this much experience. How boring it must be. Huh? You will finally get sick of it. So heaven cannot be the goal. See, whoever invented this concept of heaven, I don't know how they thought of it, because it is a damn boring place, I'm telling you. Real happiness comes when there's deep meaning in life. In just a sensual life, there's no meaning. So you'll never be happy. It's just a childish way of thinking, that's all. Children think if I have all the chocolate in the world, I'll be most happy. So this is also a childish way of saying, if I have all sensual enjoyment, I will be happy. You can never be happy in such a situation. So this is what the Jnani understands. The man of renunciation, having scrutinized everything that the different worlds can give him, he just puts them aside and he invests in knowledge. So that is when, Vedant becomes important, the Guru becomes important, the teacher, and devotion to God becomes important. So check it out in our own lives. If Vivek is not there, there won't be any real Vairagya. Now you see the 13th mantra. Because next they are going to give us the nature of the Purusha, Brahman. So how you come to that, they are describing here. Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya yenaksharam purusham veda satyam provachatam tattvato brahma vidyam. Iti Mundaka Upanishadi Prathama Mundake Dvitiya Khandaha. To him who has approached duly, whose heart is calm and whose outer organs are under control, that man of enlightenment should adequately impart the knowledge of Brahman, by which one realizes the true and imperishable Purusha. So Tasmai sa Vidwan. See, he's a Vidwan, Upasannaya Samyak, Prashanta Chittaya. See, these are the prerequisites for Brahmagyan. His heart must be calm. If there is Vivek, your heart will be calm. A restless person cannot have Vivek. A restless person is a stupid person. He may think he is very dynamic. It's pure stupidity. If there is a well developed mind and heart, you will be very calm in any situation. Then only right decisions are possible, work is possible. Otherwise, we are just, it's an overflow of our uncontrolled mind, that's all. That is not called dynamism. So his heart should be calm and his outer organs are under control, which means there is yam niyam in his life. There is self control. Only to such a one this knowledge can be imparted. Hmm? The man of enlightenment should adequately impart that knowledge of Brahman by which he realizes the true and imperishable Purusha. So Brahma Vidya is not so easy. Without preparation, it will not come. It will not come. And if these are the qualifications of the student, the bar for the teacher is even higher, very high. He must be Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam, and Akamahataha. He must be actually, he has heard a lot of about the truth. He's established in it and he's desireless. He's pure, utterly pure. That type of teacher can transmit this knowledge. Otherwise, it cannot be transmitted. It is actually about transmission and not teaching. It is actually transmission. To the extent his mind has touched the infinite, he is able to give us the exact feeling for the infinite. So take care of this, the whole procedure, when it comes to spirituality, it is very different. It can't be like classroom teaching. Without the necessary tapasya, it is not possible. Because Brahmagyan is not ideation about infinite, isn't it? It is not conceptualization about the infinite. No. It is about being and becoming. So this essential requisite should be there. See, many times the devotees who would come to Dakshineshwar and just the sight of Thakur would lift their minds towards the highest. M has written this so many times in the Gospel. As soon as they saw Sri Ramakrishna, see, this is the power of the Guru. As soon as they see Sri Ramakrishna, they feel that jerk. A kind of awakening comes over them. And Thakur is usually in Samadhi or talking with the Divine Mother or in some great bhav. So they are able to feel that presence. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you will see how M describes Sri Ramakrishna as a rishi, as Shukadev, as God in a human form. So this is the power of the Guru. Too much of teaching is not required at all. His presence is required. That is why you cannot take all this knowledge from the internet and all that. The presence of the Guru. Even in the normal educational process, a powerful mind can transmit ideas powerfully. And what to speak of this knowledge? This goes beyond mind. So a different kind of transmission this is. I can tell you some wonderful stories about teachers and disciples. See, Swamiji, when he was in London, Vivekananda was in London, there were a group of students who wanted to experience meditation. And Swamiji sat on the stage and he went into deep meditation. He's teaching them actually meditation. He himself went into such a deep state of meditation that quiet and that calmness came over the entire group. Swamiji went into Samadhi, the highest stage of Ashtanga Yoga. And then they understood the power of meditation. You will feel something of it, in the presence of such a teacher. Something of that will enter. And in Thakur's case, what to say? Once Sri Ramakrishna was describing to the devotees who were around him this 6 chakras of yoga, what happens at every chakra. And he's describing when it comes to anahata. He's see, actually Thakur is experiencing the state, and once he comes to the still anahata, something he could describe, but once it came to vishuddha, then you can't speak after that. So actually Thakur plunged in samadhi beyond that. And then after a long time, he comes down and says, I want to tell you, but mother is not allowing me to tell you. So beyond a certain stage, you can't describe all this. It's more a matter of experience. In fact, listening to Swamiji in the US, one person has written that after the first few minutes, it was more experiencing than listening. So these great teachers have that power to actually make you feel the reality of it then and there. And I have seen a person who is at least samadhivan, who has attained the state of samadhi, has intense power in his entire being. He can perfectly transmit what Vedanta is trying to say. So remember, it is not about vritti jnana, it goes far beyond that. And in them, the sense of identity is gone. So a feel for the infinite comes naturally when they are teaching it. That naturally seeps into the student. So what this Brahma Jnana is, the vastness, the expansiveness, the infinitude of it, your mind cannot conceive of unless you are in that kind of presence. This is something so true. I can tell you one more incident here. This incident is, it comes from the life of Raman Maharshi again. He would not sign his name. Like even Raja Maharaj, Brahmananji Maharaj would not sign his name. So if they pestered, he would sign Om. He would write Om there. Now one day somebody pestered him so much that please write, please sign here, please autograph. And then the Maharshi wrote a couplet there on that paper. Ekam aksharam hridi nirantaram bhasate swayam likhyate katham. Do you understand the meaning? Ekam aksharam, one akshar is shining, blazing in my heart. Hridi nirantaram bhasate swayam, self-effulgent. How do I put it down on paper? Likhyate katham. And that person was so stunned. See, this is their state, condition. We can't even say state, it's not a state of mind. They are in the infinite consciousness. Sense of personality is lost. What name they will sign? For them, the rules of this material world are very hazy. They have vanished. So you will find them very uniquely aloof from all this. And they teach best, those who are like that. We may think, oh, how impractical. It's because we are stupid. Only the stupid think that these sages are practical. They really, when you lose your own sense of personality, you cannot give personal this thing to others, personality sense to others. So they have gone to a very different plane. Now, this is what he will be describing, you see. With this 13th mantra, we are actually ending this part. And now we go into second Mundaka, Canto 1. Tadetat satyam yatha sudiptat pavakad vispulinga sahasrasha prabhavante sarupaha tatha aksharad vividha saumya bhavaha prajayante tatra chaivapiyanti. The thing that is such is true, as from a fire fully ablaze fly off sparks in their thousands that are akin to the fire. Similarly, O good-looking one, from the imperishable originate different kinds of creatures, and into it again they merge. See? A nice analogy has been drawn. As from a fire fully ablaze, sparks fly out, so also everything has emerged from the imperishable infinite one. Hmm? See, this is a huge insight, generalized insight of the Rishi. He is actually seeing all living creatures in this world, everything that you see around you, even objects, what you call animate and inanimate, everything is nothing but a spark of the infinite. And that is why he is using such language. It goes over our head because we try to think and understand logically. Na? Logic is a very limited way to understand. You can only understand an object within certain parameters in terms of logic. Logic will help you understand only that much. But this is, you can say, mystical insight into the nature of reality. So it is there even in the Kathopanishad, similar way it is described. So this, they like to describe it like this, you see. Uh, from the imperishable originate different kinds of creatures and into it again they merge. Hmm? Even as sparks fly out of a fully ablaze fire. Now, to understand something like this, see, there are two ways of understanding. One way is the way of logic. I can give you a number of analogies, logical analogies, to help you understand. All ornaments are nothing but gold. See, the gold in your ornament matters only to whom? The goldsmith and the thief. He doesn't see ornament, he wants only the gold. But to everybody else, the ornament is what matters. The glory of the gold is that it has become an ornament. But not to the goldsmith, the creator of the gold, of the ornament. For him, it is the gold that matters. So, also, in this created world of mind boggling diversity, the source is only one. And that's how the creator sees it, that it is I alone who has become all of this. Tini Shab Hoychen Thakur Jaman bolte. So, similarly, in the Vedantic analogies are all similar. From the standpoint of water, there are no formations of water. There are no waves and bubbles because it's only name and form given to a particular formation of water, isn't it? What is a wave? It's a formation of water. You have given it a different name. Actually, it's only water, isn't it? And bubble or foam, it's all only water. Yes. So if you ask the fish in the ocean, they will say it's only water. But to you, it appears in so many forms. The same water again appears as ice and icebergs. It's only water. So this only water drishti is Brahma Vidya. We are caught up in the diversity of this universe. And we are studying that diversity as if it is all really separate. Actually speaking, their insight was nothing is really different, separate. There's only one underlying truth manifesting in different ways. So let it not be an intellectual concept, some amount of realization should come into us. For that to happen, see, no analogy will suffice. No logical input will suffice. Meditation will help you. It is only in the depths of meditation that we understand one substance can appear as many. And then this is what has happened with this entire universe. So now he will dive straight into the nature of the Purusha. That is why. You see, the next. Second one, Divyo Hyamurta Purusha Sa Bahyabhyantaro Hyajaha Aprano Hyamana Shubhro Hyaksharat Parata Paraha. The Purusha is transcendental since he is formless, and since he is coextensive with all that is external and internal, and since he is birthless, therefore he is without vital force and without mind. He is pure and superior to the other, superior, imperishable. which is Maya. Now they are describing the characteristics of Nirgun Brahman. See how they describe. He is birthless, he is formless, transcendental, he is without vital force and without mind, and yet he is. He is pure and superior to the manifested form, Maya, Prakriti. Now, check and see, can consciousness have a form? Can it have a name? Pure consciousness. Can it have mind, vital energies? That is why Brahman is nothing but Chaitanya Swarup. He is the essence of consciousness, pure being. His nature is Nirgun. He can assume gunas, he can become Sagun, but his nature is Nirgun. And he is far apart and different from this, the manifested Brahman. All forms arise from the formless. So the nature of Nirgun Brahman is described here. How do we realize this? Our Shambhande ki bhava jaye. Can you think about it? The formless, infinite one. Can you think about this? If there's no form, how do you think? Transcendental one. What is the way?
Self-realization.
Meditative habit is the way. This can only be grasped in meditation, what they are trying to say. Because our own nature is Brahman, you will touch that nature with meditation. Logically, I can convince you. It is only convincing your intellect. That is very good actually. If your intellect is convinced, you will get into real sadhana. But sadhana is required. Because, your mind can never conceive of something infinite and formless and transcendental. What your mind cannot conceive of, your speech can never accommodate or express. So then there's no way of knowing it. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. That's how it is described. Mind and speech will come away baffled from that, the Purusha. So the only way to do this is turn the mind within and dive deep into the nature of pure being. You can use Saguna Upasana to go towards Nirguna Upasana, or you can go directly into Nirguna Upasana through self-inquiry, through meditation on the infinitude. Thakur used to prescribe this, like a fish swimming in water and the infinite sky. By meditating on these, you can get a glimpse of the absolute, he would say. In fact, his samadhi state showed something of this. Once somebody asked him, you see, that picture of Thakur is there, which was taken in Keshav's that meeting. There was a group of people sitting, and Thakur suddenly went into samadhi and stood up, and Hriday is supporting him from behind. There you can see Thakur's face is all lit up in samadhi. He went into deep samadhi and showed this mudra. This mudra, actually in Bharatnatyam, they say it is the mudra of infinitude. Something vast when a person is experiencing, this mudra denotes that. Actually, Thakur showed this mudra at that time. And his face was so bursting with joy, happiness, that immediately it was clicked. They took the photo. Later on, somebody asked Thakur, not just after this photograph, but when he was in Dakshineshwar, they asked him, what do you experience in that state? Because you appear like you will crack with joy, happiness. What do you experience in that state? Then Thakur, as if he's searching for a way to express it, and then he said, would you understand if I say, if a small fish which was confined to a bowl of water, if it is released into the ocean, how it would feel. Something of that kind I experience in Samadhi. See? I told you, around them you can experience what they are telling here. So you just stick to Sri Ramakrishna's life, meditative practice and self-inquiry. You will get a glimpse of what they are saying. Otherwise it appears very, it's beyond mind. You can't conceive of it. There are many things in life, you see, which your mind cannot think about it. Like I told you, I think in the first class, ineffable experiences of life. Great awareness, great love. You will become dumb at that moment. You can't describe it. You can't express it. So the only way then for this knowledge is learn meditation. Learn to practice it properly. Somewhere your mind will make way for the truth. So that is how we get into this knowledge practically. Now, everything originates from this Purusha. This is what they are telling us. You see? Everything that there is originates from Brahman. Etasma jayate prano mana sarvendriyani cha kham vayu jyotirapa prithvi vishwasya dharini. From him originates the vital force as well as the mind, all the senses, space, air, fire, water and earth that supports everything. So the entire scheme of Sankhya, do you remember that scheme? See, they talk of two realities, Purusha, Prakriti. From Prakriti arises the cosmic mind, individual mind, Buddhi, and then Ahankar, and then the five Jnanendriyas, the Karmendriyas, and the world of objects. Tanmatras are there in the middle, and then the world of objects. So this entire scheme of Prakriti emerges from the Purusha. In Vedanta is not Sankhya. It will, because what it will do is, Sankhya is dualistic philosophy. There are two realities, Purusha and Prakriti. But Vedanta will say only one reality. It appears as all this Prakriti. So everything actually emerges only from Brahman and goes back to Brahman. It appears to have emerged. It appears to have individual identity, including your vital energies, mind, you see, sense organs, sense objects, everything. Everything, the source of primordial source and cause of everything, that is why is Brahman. And he manifests as all of this. Again, I would ask you to go to Thakur's life only to see what this means. Actually, Thakur would perceive it like this. That Tini Shob Hoyechen, he would keep saying this. You see how many times it's in the Gospel. Many such incidents are there in Thakur's life. Just go through the Gospel and you will see every page you will find that Advaitic realization coming out in different ways. So the whole point is to be able to get into some form of practice which will yield this kind of experience. Or, there are two ways. Intensify sadhana or get into proximity with the realized, with the holy. The close proximity with great sadhus will give you some such experience. Great experience will come. Thakur himself used to recommend this. Once Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, he comes into Sri Ramakrishna's room and Thakur says, "Ettu party piye davna, massage my feet a little." It was paining, his feet were paining. And then Raja Maharaj was very close to Thakur. No, he is the spiritual son. And that time he was young boy. So, avahela kur. He didn't give importance to Thakur's words. He didn't want to do it. And then Thakur said, "Are, I'm telling you, come and do it. Press my feet a little. You don't know, sadhu sangha, it has great effect. It will give you good fruit." As soon as Raja Maharaj, then Rakhal came and sat on his bed and started massaging his feet, at once, you know what he saw? He saw Mother Kali encircling the bed in the form of a young girl, 8-year-old girl, encircling Thakur's bed. She went around it 3 times and merged into Thakur. He was so stunned, he actually saw with these eyes. He was so stunned and tears welled up in his eyes, and he's looking at Thakur now. And Sri Ramakrishna said, "See, I told you." There is a tangible result of serving a holy man. So you see, there are two ways only. One is you intensify your sadhana, or you come close to those who are realized, blazing realization where it is there. There your trial. Without asking, this thing will be transformed, mind. So these are the ways open to us. Now, before I go into the next one, actually, okay, let's just enter into this. Agni Murdha Chakshushi Chandra Suryo Disha Shrotre Vagvivritascha Vedaha Vayu Prano Hridayam Vishwamasya Padbhyam Prithvi Yesha Sarva Bhutantaratma. The indwelling self of all is surely He, of whom the heaven is the head, the moon and sun are the two eyes, the directions are the two ears, the revealed Vedas are the speech, air is the vital force, and the whole universe is the heart. And it is He from whom 2 feet emerged the earth. From whose 2 feet emerged the earth. So Purusha Sukta concept is here. The Supreme Purusha alone has become all this. So Purusha Suktam of Rigveda is very interesting. I don't know if you have heard of it. During pujas and all also we use it. That one Purusha has become all of this. So you see, indwelling self is surely He, of whom heaven is the head. The moon and sun are the two eyes. The directions are the 2 ears. The revealed Vedas are the speech. And air is the vital force. And the whole universe is His heart. And from His 2 feet have emerged this planet, Earth. So it's a nice, beautiful, picturesque way of understanding how He alone has become all of this. This is what they are trying to say again and again. If you actually piercingly inquire what your individuality is, you will not find anything. Only you will find Him. Amar ami khuste giye takei pavo. Because there is nothing called individuality in us. Thakur used to give example of peeling onion. You remember? Onion, if you keep peeling out, finally the bulb becomes smaller and smaller, nothing remains after. If you try to penetrate into who am I, your own individuality, you will find nothing. You will ultimately only come to Brahman. Because He alone is in the heart of pure being. And He manifests as this so-called individual, Jiva. So also every object in this world. Every object is nothing but His manifestation. So you see, all this should at least help us, respect life deeply. Respect every object deeply. This is the real, you can say, fallout of Vedantic study. Deep worshipful attitude towards everything. Even towards the negative elements. There also God is shining, but He's hidden. Yes. And the buddhi is perverted. A veil has been thrown there. So they are committing all kinds of actions. But it's the same Brahman who is shining there. But because it is the tiger God, we won't go to embrace it. So everything, this is a very, very beautiful idea, He alone has become all this. Very characteristic of Upanishads. You won't find it anywhere else. So we'll stop here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.